Hey everybody, I want to do a quick video series on dispensationalism. Found this the other day. This is the 95 Theses Against Dispensationalism. This was something that Kenneth Gentry and Larry Johnson put together. And I don't agree with everything on this list, but I do think that this is a good list for some reasons to be against dispensationalism. I used to be a dispensationalist. I have numerous books, Charles Ryrie, I have Louis Berry Schaefer's 4-volume, or actually 8-volume, Systematic Theology. I have Dwight Pentecost books, C.I. Scofield Bible, the updated ones, the Ryrie Study Bible. I've seen those, read those, I've looked at John MacArthur's stuff, and I'm no longer a dispensationalist. And so I thought this list was fairly good, and I'm just going to do very quick videos on these different theses against dispensationalism. Number one here, the first point, is contrary to the dispensationalist claim that their system is the result of a plain interpretation of Scripture. It is a relatively new innovation in church history, having emerged only around 1830, and was wholly unknown to Christian scholars for the first 1800 years of the Christian era. So if you don't know anything about dispensationalism and its history, where it came from, I think the common teaching today is that, well, this is just what the Bible teaches. We're just following 2 Timothy 2:15 about rightly dividing the word, and that means you have to be a dispensationalist, and you can't fellowship in our church, you can't preach with us, you can't have a leadership role in our church, you can't be a member maybe even if you're not a dispensationalist. Well, prior to 1830, no one would have had those requirements because a man by the name of John Nelson Darby and the Brethren movement, the Irvingite camp, with some prophecy conferences. He used to be an Anglican priest, came out and joined the Brethren movement, and was really influential in that movement. It's a very divisive movement in its history. Early on, they had very many divisions, where they divided into the open and then the closed Brethren. The Plymouth Brethren Church had a split where they went to Bristol barely shortly after that, but no one taught dispensationalism prior to the year 1830. Now, Charles Ryrie and those others claim that it's just a plain interpretation of Scripture. But if it's so plain, why has no one ever clearly taught the same thing that dispensationalism teaches prior to the year of 1830? I think if it was so plain, then we would have seen it earlier in church history. But the fact is, we haven't. The Reformers, the early church, they did not put this big difference between the church and Israel. There was not two second comings of Christ. There's not two future resurrections. There's not all of those things that the dispensationalist teaches. So that's the end of the first video. We'll get some more in the future. Thanks.